Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In our last class, we had discussed about the Faraday's experiment, where we had talked about the electric flux and electric flux density. So today we will discuss about the Gauss's law. That what is actually a Gauss's law, and after that we will discuss about the applications of Gauss's law. So let's first discuss about the Gauss's law. The results of Faraday's experiments with the concentric spheres could be summed up as an experimental law by stating that the electric flux passing through any imaginary spherical surface lying between the two conducting spheres is equal to the charge enclosed within that imaginary surface. This enclosed charge is distributed on the surface of the inner sphere, or it might be concentrated as a point charge at the center of the imaginary sphere. Now, what does it mean? In Faraday's experiment, we had taken two concentric spheres. Actually, Faraday had taken two concentric spheres. In that experiment, he gave a non-positive charge to the inner sphere, and after some time, he observed that there was some sort of displacement from the inner sphere towards the outer sphere, and he called that displacement as displacement flux or simply electric flux. After that, he talked about the electric flux density. He found the density of the flux over the inner sphere. He found the density of the flux over the outer sphere, and after that he took an imaginary sphere, an imaginary surface in between the two conducting spheres. So the amount of flux that was crossing that imaginary surface was equal in amount to the charge enclosed by that imaginary surface. It means that जितना फ्लक्स उसी इमेजिनरी सरफेस से पास होगा वो इक्वल होगा कि वो इमेजिनरी सरफेस कितना चार्ज इंक्लूड कर रहा है. सो इन अदर वर्ड्स हम ये भी कह सकते हैं कि अगर एक सरफेस से या एक स्फीयर से फ्लक्स पास कर रहा हो, सो इट मींस दैट imaginary surface will include some charge. It means कि अगर किसी इमेजिनरी सरफेस से या किसी स्फीयर से फ्लक्स पास कर रहा हो, सो इसका मतलब यह है कि वो स्फीयर या वो सरफेस कोई ना कोई चार्ज इंक्लूड करेगा. If the flux passing through an imaginary surface is zero, it means that the charge enclosed by that sphere or by that imaginary surface will be equal to zero. So the results of Faraday's experiments can be summed up as an experimental law, and that law is actually the Gauss's law. Now, what is the statement of Gauss's law? The electric flux passing through any closed surface is equal to the total charge enclosed by that surface. It means that कि एक closed surface से जितना electric flux pass करेगा वो equal होगा कि वो जितना charge enclosed कर रहा है, वो surface जितना charge enclosed कर रहा है. So the electric flux passing through any closed surface will be equal to the total charge enclosed by the closed surface. Now, in order to find or in order to derive the mathematical findings of Gauss's law, we actually take a known amount of charge and an imaginary sphere, an imaginary surface. So let's imagine a distribution of charge shown as a cloud of point charges in figure. So these are actually the distributions of charge. This is actually a cloud of point charges surrounded by a closed surface of any shape. The closed surface may be the surface of some real material, but more generally it is any closed surface we wish to visualize. मतलब ये कोई रियल मटेरियल भी हो सकता है, लेकिन नॉर्मली हम एक इमेजिनरी सरफेस कंसीडर करते हैं. If the total charge is q, then q coulombs of electric flux will pass through the enclosing surface according to Gauss's law. That if the total, according to Faraday's experiment, if the total amount of charge is q, then it means that q coulombs of flux will be passing through this imaginary closed surface. At every point on the surface, the electric flux density vector D will have some value ds. At every point on the surface, the electric flux density vector D will have some value of ds, where the subscript s merely reminds us that D must be evaluated at the surface, and ds will in general vary in magnitude and direction from one point on the surface to another. It means that we have some charges of known quantity. Let's suppose we have q coulomb of charge. अब हम क्या करते हैं कि हम एक closed surface लेते हैं, and this closed surface is actually enclosing the q amount of charge. So as this surface is enclosing the q amount of charge, the q coulombs of flux will be passing through this imaginary closed surface. Now, how can we find the mathematical expression for the Gauss's law? It means that what is the relation between the amount of flux that is passing through the closed surface and the amount of charge. So for that, let's suppose I am taking a differential element of surface, and let's suppose this differential element of surface is delta S. As we have the differential element of surface, so this differential element of surface will be considered as a vector quantity. ये बात ऑलरेडी हमने डिस्कस कर ली है कि चूंकि ये एक डिफरेंशियल पोर्शन है तो इसको हम वेक्टर क्वांटिटी कंसीडर करेंगे. इट मींस दैट इसी पोर्शन का कुछ मैग्नीट्यूड होगा एंड देयर विल बी अ स्पेसिफिक डायरेक्शन ऑफ दिस differential element of surface. Let's suppose the direction is del S. Del S is the direction of this differential surface. Del S is the magnitude and we have a specific direction. It may be represented by A and or something else. Now we know that some differential flux will be passing through this differential element of surface, and let's suppose we have a point P. This differential surface is at point P, and at point P the direction of the electric flux density vector is ds. It means that at point P, the electric flux density vector is ds. Now, what will be the differential flux d psi that is passing this differential surface del S? It will be the product of the normal component of ds and del S. What does it mean? It means that if we look at this figure, ds is making an angle theta with the differential surface. अगर हम इसी डेल एस को देख लें तो इसी डेल एस से मैक्सिमम फ्लक्स कब पास करेगा? जब इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स का डायरेक्शन और इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी का डायरेक्शन और इसी डिफरेंशियल एरिया का डायरेक्शन वो सेम. So it means that maximum flux will be passing through this differential surface. It means that there is a dot product between this differential surface and the electric flux density vector. Now we have already said that at point P, the electric flux density vector is ds. The electric flux density vector is ds and ds is making an angle theta with the direction of del S. So the differential amount of flux del psi will be equal to the product of the normal component of ds. And what is the normal component of ds? The normal component of ds is this, because if we divide ds into its rectangular components, so the normal component of ds over to this area is ds cos of theta. This component is actually the tangential component. This component is tangential to this surface, whereas the normal component is ds cos of theta. This is ds sin of theta and this is ds cos of theta. So d psi or del psi, the differential flux that is passing through this differential surface, will be equal to ds cos of theta into del S, the magnitude of the differential surface. So in simple words, the differential flux that will be passing through this differential surface will be equal to ds dot del S. Del psi will be equal to ds dot del S. It means that there is a dot product between the electric flux density vector and the vector differential area, or the differential surface, or differential element of surface. There is a dot product between the electric flux density vector and the differential area. Now in order to find the total flux, so the total flux will be obtained by integrating this differential area. But before taking the integral, or before integrating this differential area, if we look at this area, actually there are two such normals. So हम जो डायरेक्शन सेलेक्ट करेंगे, मतलब एक ये वाला नॉर्मल है आउटवर्ड और एक नॉर्मल है जो इनर साइड की तरफ है. सो हम डायरेक्शन जो लेंगे वो आउटवर्ड नॉर्मल लेंगे टू रिमूव और टू अवॉइड द एम्बिग्युइटी. So let us imagine a distribution of charge known as a cloud of point charges. So these are a cloud of point charges surrounded by a closed surface of any shape. A closed surface of any shape. The closed surface may be the surface of some real material, but more generally it is any closed surface we wish to visualize. If the total charge is q, then q coulombs of electric flux will pass through the enclosing surface. At any point on the surface, the electric flux density vector d will have some value. Like at point P, the electric flux density vector d has the value ds. ds is the value of the electric flux density vector at point P, where s merely reminds us that d must be evaluated at the surface. It means that ये जो हम सबस्क्रिप्ट में s ले रहे हैं, it means that we are evaluating the electric flux density at the surface, and ds in general vary in magnitude and direction from one point on the surface to the other. It means that at point P it will have one value, whereas at this point it will have some other value, whereas at this point we may have some other value. So it varies in magnitude and direction from one point on the surface to the other. It means that at point P its direction is this one, whereas at this point it may have this direction, at this point it may have this direction. So at any point P, consider an incremental element of surface delta s, and let ds make an angle theta with delta s. ये बात ऑलरेडी हमने डिस्कस कर ली कि let's suppose at point P the electric flux density vector is ds and it is making an angle theta with del s, because the direction of this differential element is this one. This is actually the direction of this differential element of surface. So ds is making an angle theta with the direction of this differential element of surface. Now this ds has two components, ds cos of theta and ds sin of theta. Now ds sin of theta is tangential to this surface, whereas ds cos of theta is normal to this surface. So the flux crossing del s is then the product of the normal component of ds and del s. So del psi will be equal to the flux crossing del s. It means that that flux which is crossing, which is passing the differential element of surface, so it will be equal to ds normal into delta s. This actually is here, so it will be equal to ds cos of theta into delta s. So it will be equal to ds dot delta s. ये बात already हमने discuss कर ली है. So it means that there is a dot product between the electric flux density vector and the vector differential area. It means that maximum flux will be passing through this differential area if the electric flux density vector is normal to the area. If the electric flux density vector is normal to the area, so there will be an angle of 0 degree. So if the angle is 0 degree, cos of 0 will be equal to 1 and it will be equal to ds del s. So in simple words, we can say that maximum flux will be passing through this differential element of surface if the flux is normal to the differential area. So when the flux is normal to the differential area, there will be an angle of 0 degree. between ds and delta s. Because the tangential component, there will be no tangential component. We will only have normal component. It means that there will be no tangential component. If the angle is 0 degree, so we will only have the normal component. So it means that maximum flux will be passing through this differential surface. So there is a dot product between the differential surface and the electric flux density vector. Now, in order to calculate the total flux that is passing through the imaginary surface, जब हमने total flux calculate करना हो तो हम क्या करेंगे कि इसी equation को integrate कर लेंगे. So, the total flux passing through the closed surface is obtained by adding the differential contributions crossing each surface element delta s. So, by adding the differential contributions or by integrating this ds, so del s, so we will get the total flux. So, the total flux will be equal to the integration of the differential flux, and it will be equal to the closed surface integral of d dot ds. Remember that this is actually the closed surface integral, but for simplicity we are taking a single integral. As we are evaluating a surface, a differential surface, क्योंकि हम एक surface को evaluate कर रहे हैं, so हम double integral लेंगे. Actually, a surface integral is a double integral. A surface integral actually involves the integral of two differential coordinates. मतलब हम दो coordinates को integrate करते हैं. So this is actually a double integral, but for simplicity we are taking a single integral और subscript में हम यहाँ नीचे s लिखेंगे. So s means the surface integral. वैसे यहाँ dsp surface integral ही represent कर रहा है, but for simplicity हम एक single integral लेते हैं और यहाँ पे s लिखते हैं. Whereas this closed circle, this circle over the integral means that we have a closed surface integral. We have a closed surface integral. We are taking the integral over a closed surface, and in this case that closed surface will be called a Gaussian surface. So the resultant integral is a closed surface integral, and since the surface element ds always involves the differentials of two coordinates, क्योंकि surface में दो coordinates involve होते हैं like dx dy, rho d phi d rho, r square sin theta d theta d phi. So in each surface we have two coordinates involved. So the integral is a double integral. Usually only one integral sign is used for brevity. यहाँ पे सिर्फ एक integral sign show किया है. And we should always place an s below the integral sign to indicate a surface integral. Although this is not actually necessary, since the differential ds is automatically the signal for a surface integral. One last convention is to place a small circle on the integral sign itself to indicate that the integration is to be performed over a closed surface. Such a surface is often called a Gaussian surface. इसके बारे में already हमने discuss कर लिया. ये जो closed surface हम लेते हैं, तो इसी केस में हम इसी closed surface को Gaussian surface कहेंगे. Now, what is the mathematical formulation of Gauss's law? So this is actually the mathematical form of Gauss's law. The total flux that is passing through any closed surface will be equal to the total charge enclosed by the closed surface. If we have a Gaussian surface, if we have an imaginary surface, and if the flux is passing through that imaginary surface, so the amount of flux that is passing through that imaginary surface will be equal to the total charge enclosed by the closed surface. मतलब जितना flux इसी imaginary surface से pass करेगा, उतना ही ये charge enclose करेगा. So this is the mathematical form of Gauss's law. Or the closed surface integral of the electric flux density over a closed surface will be equal to the total charge enclosed by the closed surface. But we know that the closed surface integral of the electric flux density over an area or over a surface will be equal to the total flux, so the total flux will be equal to the total charge. Now this charge may be a point charge, maybe a uniform line charge, maybe a surface charge, or maybe a volume charge. Here we had considered a cloud of point charges and the total amount of charge was Q. So it may be a point charge, or it may be a line charge, or it may be a surface charge or volume charge. So generally we will say that the closed surface integral of d dot ds will be equal to rho v into dv, and this is actually the volume charge distribution. So this is a general statement for the Gauss's law. The last form is usually used, and we should agree now that it happens. This is actually the last form. So I already told you कि sum of point charges मतलब several point charges भी हो सकती हैं, एक line charge भी हो सकता है, एक surface charge भी हो सकता है, और volume charge distribution भी हो सकता है. So normally हम ये last form use करते हैं. With this understanding, Gauss's law may be written in terms of the line charge distribution. A mathematical statement meaning simply that the total electric flux through any closed surface is equal to the charge enclosed. This is the mathematical statement, and this is the definition, that the total flux that is passing through any closed surface will be equal to the total charge enclosed by the closed surface. And this was all about the Gauss's law. So in our next lecture we will talk about the applications of Gauss's law. We will apply this statement, we will apply this equation to different charge distributions, and then we will get the results. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Thank you.